Welcome back, guys. Jason Campbell here with Zimbrick Audi of Madison. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2021 Audi e-tron. Let's take a peek. So one of the coolest things here about the 2021 e-tron is that they've added a premium trim level. Prior years you could only get it in a Premium Plus and a Prestige, but what they've done is they've added a premium entry level trim that is $8,800 cheaper. So your starting price is around $65,000 versus $75,000, and that premium trim comes pretty darn loaded as well. You still get air suspension standard, you get navigation standard, and then the option to add a convenience package onto this premium trim that'll give you some nice driver's assistance functions, black optic trim, which we'll get into a little more. One of the big differences here in the 2021 model is the optional black optic trim. You can get it now basically in any of the three trims. It comes as part of the convenience package. So you do get your nice blacked out grille, and then instead of chrome surroundings, window surroundings, and roof rail, you get nice black trim. So part of the convenience package now, one thing they did change year to year is the convenience, which can be added to that premium trim, will give you the lane assist, the adaptive cruise assist, and then now the black optic trim as well. So a lot of good feedback on the black optic trim, so it's nice that you can now add it on to any trim. So also available in this convenience package, you do get the top down and the 360 camera. So there's a camera above the mirror, the rear view mirror. The camera's under both of the side mirrors, as well as down here in the front and the back. So available now on any trim, the Premium Plus, or the Prestige. You can get that top down 360 camera. So here we are inside the 2021 e-tron. A lot of it is very similar carryover from the 2019-2020 model year. There are some changes, most notably in the range of the vehicle. You do get the option, well, you are able to now use an extra 3 kilowatt hours of the battery, which is the reason, or one of the reasons, for the bump in range here in the 2021 model. There are two variants for the 2021. There's the normal e-tron, which is what we're in right now, and then there's now there's a secondary sportback version that has a little sleeker tail end to it. It looks a little bit smaller. It's not really any smaller. The trunk might be a little bit slimmer because of how it slopes down, but all in all, the vehicle itself is just about the same. But you get access to an extra 3 kilowatt hours of the battery, and also Audi now allows you to decouple the front motor. So there's dual asynchronous motors, front and rear. In the 2019-2020 model, when you were cruising on the highway, interstate for example, both motors were going at the same time. Now when you're in that type of a mode, the front motor is able to decouple from the rest of the powertrain, and you save a little bit of energy. So when your front motor is not running unnecessarily, then it'll go just to a rear wheel bias, and that's where the extra range comes. So for the 2021 e-tron, you do now get 222 miles per charge, and then the Sportback is slightly less, so 218 miles. But that's a big improvement over the previous roughly 200 miles per range, or range per battery. The inside, the technology here is pretty darn similar. You still get the beautiful 2 touchscreens here. So this model that we're in right now, this is the new premium trim that is available. So you can still see the orientation, the technology, the interface with the infotainment system. It's all the same. Bottom screen here controls all your comfort and climate control, and the top does your navigation, your chip computer, all your settings, media. And also standard is this beautiful virtual cockpit here in front of the steering wheel. Again, where you can put your navigation, you can have your driver's assistance, chip computer, phone, media. So there's a lot of ways to customize the presentation and even make your dials bigger or smaller as well. tremendous amount of pickup. Just never get sick of driving this thing. It's amazing. I personally like to make my dials a little smaller so I can see what's in the background there in the virtual cockpit. Now, since this is the premium, there's no head-up display. It is optional. Head-up display where you'll get some information on shown on your windshield, like your speed limit. If you have a destination plugged in, you'll get your turn-by-turn directions in full color, as well as adaptive cruise control, lane assistant. That all shows up on the windshield on that top trim level, that Prestige here at Audi. But this one that we're in, the premium, since it has that convenience package that I was mentioning before, I do have the driver's assistance and the adaptive cruise control. So you can see down here that I'm able to set my speed. Maybe actually blow this up a little bit for you. Here we go. Set my speed, and I can set the distance at which my e-tron trails any vehicle in front of me. If I want there to be more distance there, or I can notch it down to less distance. So if someone were to cut me off, even though I have the cruise control set for 66, if someone cuts me off and they're going, 50, then the e-tron will automatically bring me down to the speed limit of the traffic flow. And then similarly, if the speed limit changes, it goes from 50 to 60 or 60 to 50, and you have your adaptive cruise assist on, e-tron will automatically bring you up or down to the new correct speed. And it watches things like any sort of traffic sign, including speed limits, school zones, roundabouts, that type of thing. It's always integrating with the onboard navigation as to what to expect, what's coming up, and will help optimize your driving experience. You still do get the 2 paddles here on the steering wheel. Now, there's no gears in an electric car, so what these do is they change the amount of regenerative braking. So when you turn the car on, it's set as 0, but you can change those settings. But by tapping the left paddle here, when you're not accelerating, I have it now set to 30% regen. So there's 10, 20, and 30%. So I'm not doing anything right now, and I'm just slowing down for the stoplight. So I have the regen set at 30%. And then similarly, if I tap the right paddle 3 times, it goes 30, 20, 10, 0. And you can kind of see it right down here as I tap the paddles, dipping into the charge zone. So you can see the different degrees of regenerative braking. So some people like that push-pull sensation, that more or less a one pedal driving, kind of like Tesla, but others don't like it. So Audi gives you the option to have anywhere from 0 up to 30% regenerative braking. So if you're a mileage nut and you really want to optimize every last little bit of energy in your battery, you can do so by using these paddle shifters, which I think is a super cool feature. Something else different about Audi when you compare it to Teslas of the world, we get a lot of questions about that. What makes Audi unique, better or worse? Well, relating to the battery, there's a few differences, but one of the newer differences in terms of the 2021 model here as well is they do allow you to use that extra 3 kilowatt hours of battery. So the battery, it's a 95 kilowatt hour battery. You can now use, I think it's about 86.5 kilowatt hours. And what makes it different from Tesla is there's a buffer here in the e-tron where that extra 10 or so kilowatt hours that you're not able to use, it is a buffer built into the battery. So over time, as cells naturally dissipate and die out, then the e-tron allows you to access that buffer range. So over your ownership of the vehicle, you don't lose range per se, because as soon as those cells die, then the e-tron dips into the extra buffer zone and replenishes them. So for all the Tesla owners out there, when you drive a car off the lot for the first time, that's when you get the most range. And kind of from that point, over multiple years, 10 years or so, your range will be getting less and less and less and less. Whereas here at Audi, although the battery is a 95 kilowatt hour battery, you're only ever using about 85, 86 kilowatt hours, but that amount that you're using is stable throughout your ownership. So you do get an 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the battery, but that expected range isn't any different on day 1 versus day 300 versus day 3000, because as soon as those cells start to die, the e-tron takes from the reserves. Here's the 360 camera that I was talking about before. If you put the car into reverse, it of course pops on your backup cam, but there's also a button right here next to the start, the on-off button you can press just at any time, see your camera angles. There's a 3D button right here where you can look all around the car. Extremely helpful for parking. The way this works is there's a camera in the front, the rear, and then under both side mirrors. So the vehicle is just overlaying all the camera feed in real time on top of each other and giving you that 360, that top-down view. You can click on the graphic on the right here to get different vantage points. If I were to open up one of my doors though, then you see it deactivates that camera that's on the mirror. So you lose that field of vision until I close my door. Then I get that back. So that's pretty cool. Even things like the turn signal, you turn those on, they appear in the graphic. Pretty sexy. There's some different camera angles here as well. Pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We took a look at the 2021 e-tron and some of the new differences, both in how it's packaged and then the exterior improvements as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, check out our other videos. We do have some other great content that goes into more detail on the e-tron in terms of all the bells and all the whistles. So make sure you check that out. Subscribe to Zimbrick, and thanks so much. We'll see you guys soon.